American or the Soviets. It's because I believe that everything which is wrong in the global world, so to speak, can be, and every problem which there is ends up in a lie of somebody who works for his own pocket. And that is my battle. And I do what you say could very well be. I have no, I do not know. I have no information about it, which does not mean that it does not exist. I am not against it, but I do not know it. And I have to see in developments here in America, as in Germany. I'm an American citizen, but I still have a commitment in my heart for Germany, that they find the right way.
My family came from Germany. I have a lot of respect for German culture and the people over there.
Well, thank you very much. But
let me. There was one other. I would disagree with you on pointing the fingers at different groups. I mean, there are people that I've based on a lot of research. There's you know, but I've said one of the problems that we have, Hilmar, is how do we fight evil without becoming evil ourselves? You know, it's like I see that kind of as Hitler's problem. He wanted to stand up against an invasion, a potential military invasion from Stalin, who was responsible for murdering 40 million white Russians, or 60 million white Russians. He wanted to stand up against that, and then suddenly he became evil too. I mean, what was done and how he did it to the German people, we can find differences with. How do we fight evil? How do we fight evil?
And I will tell you what that means for the world. I had to face, after World War II, when I escaped crossing 5 borders in communist Yugoslavia and came back to Germany, finding my father being captured by the Soviets, and who died in Soviet concentration camp, you can say. Now, I wanted to find out, I wanted to know how was it possible that in Germany such atrocities which I had not known, how was it possible that this can be done in Germany? And I studied, I mean, not at the university, but in literature and these kind of things, on developments, and I came to the conclusion that the National Socialists, the German Nazi Party, their philosophy, whatever they did, was built on lies. They lied. Hitler lied about everything. And there are plenty of lies. Goebbels had said, the Minister of Propaganda, that if you speak one lie enough, as many as possible, then something sticks and people believe what you say. And I realized that was what happened to myself and to the nation in our relationship to the Nazis. And I looked then, after I came to the lie, and I looked at my own life, I realized that I was a liar also. And I lied for personal advantage, let's put it this way. I stole, I lied to my parents, I cheated in the university, I stole from where I worked at that time, and I had a list, you can't believe it. And I realized that it was a lie which connected me to the Nazis. I had done nothing for those atrocities. I didn't even know them. I went to war to defend my country and had to realize that I did not represent my country. I did the work of Hitler. And this is possible because I did not have absolute moral standards in my life. And the battle I had, like everybody, inside myself, I have the voice of truth and I have the voice of evil. I had my inside full of evil, and I have not yet met one person who does not lie, and every lie is It's evil because it cheats somebody, and that is why I have a message which goes to everybody everywhere, to every person everywhere, that all those people who want to change the world, like the Nazis said they do, and like Obama says he does, they always begin with somebody else. The evil is not in me, it is with the other people. And mistakes which are being made are not made by me, are made from them. Never come to their recognition of their own failures. And I became, when I realized what a miserable person I am, and I asked God, the whole list I read to God, and I asked God to forgive me, I became a different man, because I think to change the world, you start with change inside yourself. Then you become effective in wherever you live, whatever you do, you can be a person who has an answer for the lie. If you do that, habits are not afraid, and you risk your life if you become honest nowadays. So that is, and I do that, and I have been in this battle for the truth for all my life, and nobody can tell me off God.
You know, Hilmar, I volunteered for to go to Vietnam in 1964, but later I found out that wasn't a justified war. There was no Gulf of Tonkin. The people we bombed over there didn't do anything for us. But in World War II in Germany with Hitler, speaking from your experience here, Stalin had already, by that time, murdered almost 30 or 40 million people in Russia.
Yes.
Wasn't standing up against Russia a justified war?
Well, they had, the facts are that there was shortly before the beginning of the war, the German foreign minister von Ribbentrop flew to Moscow, and they signed a non-aggressive pact, which means each one of them guaranteed the other one that they would not attack each other. And that was giving a signal by the Soviets to the Germans, to the Nazis, that they could do as what they thought was coming, and the Soviets would do nothing about it. And as a matter of fact, they divided the country of Poland in two parts, the eastern part for the Soviets and the western part by the Germans. And when I came back from, or put it this way, the Soviets didn't the thing to get into the battle with Poland. They're clever enough to have the Germans doing that. And we lived in an area which was given to the, I can't remember whether they were given Poland or to Poland or to the Soviet Union. In any case, my father was taken by the Soviet army. My mother was thrown out of our where we lived. We lost everything. We came as refugees into West Germany, and that are the realities. Do I hate the Soviets because they killed my father and they took our land? No, I don't, because I have forgiven them, and as God says that God is having to get that His commandments are being that this commandments coming to be reigning in the nation under God, which is America, and which we are fighting for. I don't know whether I have made a statement or correct.
I think America is under God. I think we pledge allegiance to our flag and the republic for which it stands. And I think the founding fathers here fought the New World Order of their day that was called "The Sun Never Sets on the English Empire." And we got. You know, I think you've actually got you've got a point here. If we forgave our enemies, and they forgave the fraudulent debts that they've put on our people, and we got started working together from the county level on up, working together, growing our own food, becoming productive again instead of being outsourced all over the world.
Yeah, but
we would be setting an example.
I can forgive somebody, but that doesn't make that what he did is right.
No.
It remains wrong if you kill somebody. I went to Washington and met with the director of the Holocaust Memorial Council in the, I think it was in the 80s, and I asked his forgiveness for me and for my nation, which was Germany at that time, for the atrocities we had committed to their people, that is, the Jewish people. And the man was so moved, and so was I. We became friends. That did not make the Nazis right. They have to stand up for themselves. And I say, I don't ask anybody to live who has a difference in their morality for me, because I do what I say I do. And if I make a sin, or if I commit a sin, or make a lie, I stand up to God and say, I made this and this wrong, please forgive me. So you live in a constant battle with yourself, everybody in the world, and that is because you can't demand from others what you do yourself.
Now,
so
part of this, you were right about this. A lot of this being built on lies. A lot of the Nazis and a lot of the propaganda we're getting right now in the United States is based on lies. If it wasn't based on lies, Hilmar,
yes.
Why would we be in the trouble we've got now? I mean, Obama is doing. You say Obama is doing what Hitler did. I say Obama is doing what Stalin did, and that we are moving to the point where they're going to sacrifice 50 or 60 million Americans. They're going to starve us to death, and I don't know. Is it the Soviets? Is it the communists? Is it the fascists? Or is it the Jews? Or is it the Muslims? I mean, we've got the banksters and our secret services. The Mossad and the CIA might as well be the same organization. And the KGB, they made the statement back in World War II that the Soviets had infiltrated the State Department in the United States and the FBI and the CIA to the point they might as well have been the same agencies. The plan in the United States, and always has been trying to move us into a one-world government. They're trying to do that right now by this whole North American Union with the invasion of the illegals, the same way they ran the Jews in over the White Russians in the from the Pale settlement. Isn't this?
Yeah, my own position is, of course, if they do that, they should be thrown out. I asked here very often how nobody has ever attacked me here because I'm what I form under use, which doesn't mean anything. There was nothing else. But if there is no,
I was a Cub Scout, so.
Yeah, that's correct. But I think we are faced with evil at a pace which for me is tremendous, where they try to take over from inside, and we have to fight the lie. But we will not look at the Republican debates ahead. You won't hear the name of God. I have come to the conclusion Germany did not lose the war because of arms, but because of immorality, of godlessness. God threw his hand away from Germany, which kills people in that dimension. And the same is true for the people who have abortion. They kill more than 50 million, and they think they can still be a Christian. They are miserable pagans in my view, and they should be out of their jobs in the White House and in the Congress. And I'm very happy that there is a Tea Party who is going about it. But they are missing the main thing is you have to fight the godlessness within American society. How on earth can you have here in America the same school than we had in Germany under the Nazis? If you take God out of the schools and you murder the babies in the womb of the mother, what is it? That is evil that is being tolerated, and that we have to fight. I told the man in Washington, the top in the Jew structure, and I told him that most people look at the wrong side. Who is responsible? He said it's not the criminals who have survived are being put to court and they pay for what they are doing, but the real responsible ones are people like myself, the little guy who does not have any moral standards. And I think that is most people that are just thinking of themselves. And I call that roaming in the ship and you are painting it inside, which is thinking. So we have to be clear on the battle line, and the battle line is evil. And don't you think that you, I mean you, I don't mean just you, I mean everybody, that you don't have any evil inside. I had so much, I shuddered at myself. So that's what I have to say to that.
In my opinion, I mean, I've been asked for answers. I've been asked for help. I'm talking with the counties. I'm talking with the sheriffs. We'll have sheriffs speaking at the event I'm putting on in November. But I'm probably going to be speaking with them because I believe if we could return to the level that you're speaking of caring for each other, helping each other, by doing what I call the Liberty Village thing, going back to the farmers and the ranchers and putting the veterans together with the farmers and ranchers, letting the city people see how we grow our own food, how we get back to nature, how we get back to a simpler existence. And if we generate our own power and we generate and we grow our own food, then we don't really need the government and the Nazis or the communists or the Jews or the Muslims over any of us. If we're all equal and we got the equal opportunity and we can live with our own kind and grow our own foods and live the way we want, I consider that to be freedom and liberty, and I think that's what this country was based on, and I think we can get back to it if the American people will stand up against the Hitler-esque Obamas and Netanyahu's and you know, whoever is on the Muslim side of the fence. We don't, you know, the Constitution gives us the right to worship the way we please. And you want to hug a tree? Yeah, you know, maybe I'll help you get the splinters out. You want to stick your nose in the dirt and pray to Mecca 3 times? I'll try to keep the Saint Bernard off your ass. You know, I don't care.
Yeah, I understand, but you have to add the purpose to it. And that's what is missing. I have found a lot of good Christians committed in their hearts to their God. And that is, for me, that is the basis of everything what could be done. But you must have people don't know where they can come in who are not in agreement with what the government does in Washington. So you must find a way to get your conviction to those people who violate the Constitution which was given by the founding fathers. And that is, I think I told you, that I said to the Director General of the Holocaust Memorial that we have to look at those people who cannot kill a fly and do nothing. They are the ones who make it possible, and I was one of them. I was only looking at myself, what I get, and therefore I didn't realize that I was dealing with criminals. I was 18 years when I got into the war. All the war I thought we will win the war, and when I came to America I was invited for breakfast to the retired officers association, and I apologized, or I thanked them that they had given and risked their life for me, that I had become a free person because of the American soldiers. And so everybody has his sides where he has done nothing and where he should do something, or you have something which you can use to change other people. And I think the crucial thing in the world of today is that the human natures can be changed by changing by changing the motives. If you can change the motives that we want a country as the founding fathers wanted it, and this is the constitution the founding fathers created, and there is no second one in the world like this, that we have to, this fight everybody has to face nowadays, otherwise we won't last. That's my conviction. Are you still there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. You know, what is your opinion, based on your research, based on your experience? What do you give me? We've got about 9 minutes. First of all, I'd like for you to tell us where we can get your book, and I should have all the links up on my site, but let's make sure we've got it. And then tell me where you think we're going right now. What are they planning next? If
well, I think you can win the war, which I call the war. The spiritual and ideological war, I think, as we are clear that that is the case, that the criminals which are running this country have to be stopped. I think we still can. God has not given us away yet. If we live the life and fight the fight, we can win it. Everybody must not lie, but speak the truth and make restitution where you have missed it, and then go on the street or look at your congressman or your senators or your governor, everything their politicians, and we should be there and watch what they are doing and how they are spending our money. That I think is essential for anybody who wants to survive. Is that an answer to what you asked me?
I think so, sir. I think so.
And my book is, of course, if you defeating the totalitarian lie costs $15. If you add connecting with the power of God, which normally costs $10, you get two things for $20. And in there, believe me, you will find answers which you don't hear anywhere else, and you find also a way that you can apply it to your own life and to your own country. And I think America still is called to be, it's the only nation still in the mess we are in, it's still the same nation as 10 years ago. America is the only country who can lead freedom into being in the rest of the world, but we have to have it first here in our own area, America.
Who do you see as the enemies in power in our country, taking us in the wrong direction?
Well, I think the worst are the Obama, and then what's her name, this woman in the Democratic Party, and the Senate leader.
Pelosi.
Yeah, Pelosi, and then the Senate leader. Those three that are the worst. And then I would say that those Americans who vote for the Democrats, they vote also for abortion. They should be clear for that, and they will have to face God with that. I would have to face God because of the Jews, whether they themselves would be good or bad. That doesn't really make any matter. The matter makes that I am part of a killing machine. So the same thing I find here. What for us was the Holocaust, for Americans is the killing of babies in the inside of the mother. And that was
I have seen these FEMA camps, four families, and behind barbed wire. They have them set up. They may not be filled. They may not be staffed, but we paid Brown and Root, Halliburton, $350 million to recondition all of these detention centers, concentration camps, if you will, on military bases. Do you see the same thing happening here that happened in Germany, that happened in Russia, in the same method? They made enemies. They made people like me their enemy for trying to.
Yeah, you are quite right. You had in the Germans. But anyway, that leads too far. Look at my book. That's where you can find what we can do, what has happened, and what we must do, and what we should not do. And the historical facts which are not being published here in this so-called media, central media, is a big signs on papers. But there is an email, and with that you can get quite a lot of people listening and listening, and I get a lot of letters and so forth. So there is something which is cooking for the best of America. And I'm glad I had this chance here today.
I appreciate that too. If you go to my site and click on your name, you can listen to the show. You can save it as an MP3, and I'd appreciate it if you'd tell everybody about this show. This is the one show I think right now the most important thing is for people to have enough information to think intelligently and to think in the proper directions, not necessarily think about killing somebody else to get them to convert to your way of life, but setting people free to let them decide their own paths in life.
Yeah, and also, as far as I'm concerned, I have a website which Clay has already mentioned, www.vancampe.com. There you find the articles who deal with the present development of the present situation in which we are in. But the real thing, the most engaging book is a book, Defeating the Totalitarian Lie. That will help. I want to get this to Congress, to everybody, and I'll let you know, Clay, when that comes, should be in this month.
Great. I look forward to it. I'll bring you back on and we'll talk about that. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Very good.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you. That was a productive hour.
I appreciate it. I appreciate all of your input, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you now. Okay, and folks, let's see, I got a couple of more minutes left here. Let me tell you, my name is Clay Douglas. I've got 3 books out, and you need to read my fiction. I just had a guy talking about our fiction yesterday, Charlie Danger. Well, my character is more believable, more accurate, and there's probably more truth in my fiction, and it's easier to believe than my non-fiction because of what's gone down. Now I've got an article that'll be coming out, and we got an event coming out. We're going to be selling booth space for $50 at the Cochise County rally on 11/11/11, and we got books for sale. Right now you can be reading it this afternoon by sending me $20 and specifying which book you want. All you got to do is go to clay@freeamerican.com and send me an email, send me a PayPal to the same address, and let's get this thing working. We got a great lineup of guests next week, and looking for your support, looking for your help. We just got to have enough money for gas and travel and get these flyers printed, so I need your support this week today. Alright. And where are we at here? Okay. Yeah, almost done here.